Hey everyone, thanks for watching Ozark Overland Adventures. I want to talk about a subject that I see all the time being brought up on different Facebook groups and forums and whatnot, but that is off-roading and overland communications. There's really four options out there as far as communications go between rig to rig, and that's FRS, or the cheap walkie-talkie handheld radios, CB, which everyone knows, ham, and GRMS. So I want to walk through the pros and cons of each one of those, and then ultimately get to why me and the people that I wheel with chose GRMS. And then we're going to take a look at this specific model, the Midland MXT275, and install that in my wife's Jeep. But FRS radios, these are the cheap ones, the ones that you can find at Walmart, Academy, any big box retailer. They're cheap. Most people have these. So it's a valid option. The downside to them is battery life on them can be questionable. You got to keep replacing batteries all the time. But the range on them isn't great. I've seen boxes that say 30 to 50 miles, and let's just be real, that's just a lie. You'll be lucky to get a mile out of those in the woods. So the range on those is very limited, but a lot of people have them. So, and if that's the best place you can start, then by all means, FRS radios are a good option. Another benefit of the FRS radios is you don't have a license to use. Anyone can use them. Like I said, just go buy them off the shelf at Walmart or Academy or somewhere and start using them. No license fees required. Next we have CB. That's the classic. Everybody knows CB. One of the advantages is that they're easy to find. Lots of people use them, and they don't, also like the FRS, they don't require any type of license or testing or fees or anything like that to use them. The downside is they're a pain in the butt to install. You've got to get the antenna tuned just right, and there's some funky wizardry and voodoo that goes into doing that I never really got dialed in. So your range can be limited with CB. The sound quality is a lot of times crap. A lot of times it sounds like that teacher on the Charlie Brown cartoons, and just real difficult to understand. So not a big fan of CB. Actually ran CB for years, and just a month ago ripped it out because I don't use it anymore. Hadn't used it in years. All right, next is ham, and ham is one of those niche products. The people that use ham love it, and they will advocate for it, and they will fight to tell you that it is the absolute hands down best option. In a lot of ways, it may be. The sound quality on it is excellent. The range probably cannot be beat, especially if you're tapping into repeaters and stuff that are out there. But like I said, it's a niche product. It does require a lot of knowledge. There's a test that you have to take in order to get your license. It's not that expensive, but you do have to study for it, so that turns a lot of people off. And the license for it is only good for the one person who holds the license. Another disadvantage that it has is that ham can only communicate with ham. So unless you and your friend group is all using ham, you may find yourself limited and how readily available that is. So just keep that in mind. So that brings us to GRMS, which is really becoming one of the more popular options out there. It has a lot of the advantages of ham. It is probably the most compatible option out there. So you'd have the widest range of use on the trail, and it's just a whole lot simpler to set up than CB is. And for that reason, me and the guys that I wheel with, we've been using GRMS for a couple years now and have never turned back. Like I said, we have loved it so much. I ripped the CB out of my Jeep about a month ago because I haven't used it since I moved to GRMS. I started with one of these little handhelds. It's a Bowfang that you can get off Amazon. It worked much better than an FRS handheld radio, but got real frustrated with the range was still limited because it's a handheld. The battery life wasn't fantastic, so we had to keep charging them and that sort of thing. But it worked, and it was better than FRS radios. So GRMS has the simplicity of FRS. The radios that you can get from Midland, they're pre-programmed. So all you do is plug them in, turn them on, and you are ready to go. You don't have to tune the antenna, so you don't have to do that sort of technical aspect to get this up and running. One major advantage to GMRS is that it also works with FRS radios. So these cheap little guys that you can get from Walmart or Academy, if people are in your group that are running those, this will actually work on the same frequencies. The difference is this has a lot more power than an FRS radio. This is a 15 watt radio, and it has been fantastic. On all of our trips to the Ozarks, we don't have any issues. On our trips to Colorado, it was great. Midland does make a 40 watt option that a friend of mine uses, but honestly, I haven't really felt the need for that much power. The only real downside to GMRS is that it does require licensing fees. It's 70 bucks, but that lasts 10 years and covers everyone in the family. For the ham license, it's only good for the person that holds the license. One single GMRS license covers everybody in the family. So if you've got multiple radios like myself, now my wife will have this one in her Jeep. We've got handheld radios, covers the whole family. So yeah, it's not a bad deal. 70 bucks for 10 years for the whole family. There is current legislation that's being proposed that will raise the ham fee up to $50 and lower the GMRS fee to $50. We'll see how that goes. After using the Bofang handhelds for about a year, I actually won an MXT115 from Midland from a photo contest on their Facebook page. And once I got that in my Jeep, I fell in love with it. And so now I have the best of both worlds. I've got, well, now I've got the 275 mounted in my Jeep. And then I keep these Midland handheld GMRS radios in the Jeep with me. So when I'm in the Jeep, I'm using the 275. And if I get out of the Jeep to either go hiking or to get out and spot my friends, or maybe walking around camp, I can take this and still be in communication. And that system works perfectly. So let's get this open and see what all we got inside. So we've got instructions, we've got the antenna, we've got power cord, this is the base unit, and then we've got the microphone and all the controls and a microphone holder with sticky back and Midland sticker. Yay for stickers. So this is it. This is all there is to it. The base unit, you can mount this anywhere because all of the controls are right here on the microphone. I've got friends that have mounted this deep down in their dash, up under the dash, maybe in the center console, in the glove box, just anywhere out of the way, because you don't need access to this at all, because everything is on the microphone. So all you have to do is mount this. The microphone connects with the RJ45 connector, plug in the power connector, and plug in the antenna, and boom, you're done. That's all there is to it. And I'll walk you through the install process here. Let me show you the MXT115. This is the MXT115, and these are the exact same radios, except for one thing. On the 275, all the controls are on the microphone. On the 115, all the controls are on the unit, so you have to have this accessible. They both work great. They're both 15 watts. Like I said, these are actually the exact same radio. The only difference is where the controls are. And one other difference, on the 275, you have a speaker in the microphone, and you also have a speaker on the back of the unit. So you can have dual speakers on this, and you can turn them both on at the same time, which gives you a lot more volume. And if you're riding around in a Jeep with a soft top, that can come in real handy. They also have ports so you can plug in an external speaker, and I've actually got an external speaker in my Jeep because it does make it just that much louder because I have a soft top. On the 115, you only have the speaker down here, and it wasn't as loud as I needed. So that's why I got the external speaker, because I was running this at the time. But having two speakers, and especially having one in the mic where as you're talking, the proximity, it really makes it a lot louder, and I prefer that. The only downside, the only thing that I like better on the 115 is on this one, you've got a quick and easy power on, power off, and volume knob. And on the 275, these two buttons right here are the volume. So you have to click it up and click it down to raise the volume. And you've all experienced that one guy who maybe accidentally, maybe on purpose, will hit the call button and make that really annoying phone ringing sound that's super loud and just is annoying. On the 115, you can quickly reach down and boom, turn it off. On this one, you have to grab it and start pushing the button, so it's not as quick. That's the one reason why I like the 115 is because of the knob. Oh, let's talk antennas. It comes with this little magnetic mount. I don't know if that'll work there. Yeah, it does. But it's a pretty strong magnet, so you can put it on the hood, you can put it up on your roof if you've got a metal roof. It doesn't work so well on our Jeeps. So it's actually a pretty good antenna. They do have other antenna options. This is what we use. It's called the Ghost antenna. It's got a 3 dB gain. I won't pretend to know what that means, but more dBs is better, right? And so as you can see, it's a little bit shorter than the magnetic mount. And it has a screw-on mount, and you use a cord kind of like this. This has a clamp that fits on the hood. They've got other mounts. They've actually got mounts that are specific to Jeep Wranglers. They've got mounts that are specific to 4Runners and Tacomas. And then they have some universal mounts too. So this is one option. They have another one that's just this piece that it screws into that works with those mounts. So anyway, multiple options on how to set these up. And they're all pretty affordable. I think that's it. Let's get to installing this in my wife's Jeep and we'll go from there. Full disclosure, I don't want to try to hide anything. I do have a great relationship with Midland since last year winning that photo contest and them sending me some goodies. And they actually sent me this for free because I asked them, hey, can I get one for my wife's Jeep? And they said, absolutely. So they sent me this for free. And I told them I would do a review on it. So I didn't pay for this, but I'm also not obligated to love it. But I do. So just want to let you know. All right, so let's get this piece installed. Now, on my wife's Jeep, she wants it kind of out of the way. She doesn't want it on her side. So I'm going to mount this right here beside the shifter on the center console. And I think that right there should be good. It shouldn't interfere with the seat coming forward. Now my wife does have her gun that's on a magnetic mount right here, so I want to make sure it doesn't interfere with that. So that should be good. And I think that's where it's going. That'll work. And I'm just going to screw it into the side here because it's going to be permanently mounted. Could use some double-sided tape if I wanted to, but I'm not too worried about it. These make little bitty tiny holes. There, just that easy. Let me get the other wires run. Now the power cord is super simple. Just take this, plug it in there. And if you've got it done the right way. And then I'm gonna tuck this. I could run this to that, but she actually uses that for when she's charging, phones and whatnot. So I'm gonna run this to the outlet that's in her center console. That way it can be a little more hidden and a little more out of the way. And I can run it out the back, right up in here. Plug that in there. And boom. Looks good. Now we take the microphone. Let's test it out. Plug it in. Oops, remove the little sticker. Perfect. Now let's do the antenna. For the antenna, I actually already ran the antenna just to make sure I like the location, and I used the ghost antenna for this. So let me show you how I did this. This is where I mounted her antenna. I used that universal clamp that she did. I had to take the cowl off and removed a little bit of metal from underneath there to get that to sit just right and nice and tight. And then I ran the cable right through here, underneath here, had a few zip ties, and then tucked it in, sent it through the firewall. Oops. Sent it through the firewall down there, which is, I don't know if you can see it or not, too dark probably. It is up there. And so I've had the cable tucked up in here for a while. So let me get that run over there. So I just ran the cord up under there, tucked it down in here, and I can tuck it up under here, give it a nice clean look. There it goes. There, tuck that in like that. There, perfect. Now the only thing to do is find a place to put this. And I've got a bracket just for this that's gonna mount it right there. That just pops right out. And that just uses an 8mm socket. There, let's make that one loose. Now this is just a mount I got off Amazon. It was like 13 bucks. Made for CBs. And it just slips right over that, locks in there. Put that back, tighten everything back up. All right, that's it. Yeah, that works great. So, as you can see, this thing is super simple to install. I actually think the longest part was running the antenna cable through the firewall and getting that set up on the cowl. And if you're using the magnetic mount, even easier. But that's it. So if you're looking for in-vehicle communications, these things are really a game changer. Whether you choose the 115 or this 275, the sound quality is excellent. The range is fantastic, and it will really be a game changer for your off-road or overlanding communications. And if you're wheeling with someone that only has a CB or ham, the little FRS radios, keep a couple in your seat back. That way, if you're wheeling with someone that doesn't have them, hand them out to them. Super easy. If you found this helpful, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell icon next to it so you'll be notified the next time I upload new content, and give it a like. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this and checking out the channel. Thanks.